Hello there. Good slide, weak hello there. Now, I was about to say yesterday I asked you before remembering that that is already someone else's intro, but yesterday I did ask you on Instagram what your favorite at-home coffee drinks are to make, specifically leaning into kind of the fun signature beverage type drinks that are a little bit more unusual than just a flavored latte. You all delivered. You provided me with many recipes, and today I have picked 5 that we are going to make in totality. We're gonna taste them and then we're gonna rank them. Rank or rate, we'll see. I think we're gonna go on a 0 to 10 scale here. Now, when asking you for these recipes, I asked you to be as specific as possible, both in ingredients and in preparation, so I'm able to make them as accurately as to what you taste as possible. I'm pretty excited about these. Some of these required some prep work, and so I am hoping that I have pretty accurate ingredients. But with that said, let's get started. Now, I will also say that you all provided me with a lot of recipes, so while I have picked 5 for today, I also want to prompt you in the comment section below. If you have a coffee drink or recipe similar to what we're going to try today that you make at home, feel free to leave it down there because there may be follow-ups to this video. Regardless, we have our first coffee drink from Isaac Redding. And I also love that this drink comes with a title as well. This drink is called the Cup of Joy! Exclamation point. For everyone's information, I'm going to be reading out the messages I received so that you have all the instructions as well as me. So, drink title, Cup of Joy. Build essentially an oat cappuccino, but the espresso and oat milk are steamed together. This is done to neutralize the bitter flavors that come from espresso and oat milk specifically. Ingredients, we have black pepper simple syrup, say that 10 times fast, anise extract, espresso, and oat milk. For the black pepper simple syrup, black pepper simple syrup. We have 150 grams sugar, 150 grams water, 50 grams black peppercorns, loosely blitzed in a food processor. Combine in a saucepan, allow to steep for 30 minutes at medium heat, strain peppercorns and let cool before enjoying. Drink build, pull double shot of espresso, approximately 40 grams, combine with 2 parts oat milk in a pitcher, approximately 80 grams, steam until 130 degrees Fahrenheit, pour into a coupe, garnish with a spritz of anise extract. This is a drink I curated based on my grandmother's favorite candy, black licorice. This is gonna be fun. Now, one thing I have noted about this is that there is not a specific amount of syrup that we're supposed to be adding. So I'm gonna add syrup to taste, but everything else we can do. So I have placed some anise extract in an atomizer. I have 80 grams of oat milk. I have 40 grams of espresso. I have our black pepper simple syrup, and I have a coupe glass. First things first, we're steaming the milk and the espresso together. This always feels a little bit wrong, but we follow the recipe today. Next, because the instructions are to steam most of our ingredients together, I'm going to be adding our syrup directly to our steaming mixture as well. This is a small drink. This is probably gonna be like roughly cortado size, so I'm gonna add about 10 grams of syrup here. Feels right. Can always add more. Can't take away. Gotta say, the idea of oat milk and a black pepper simple syrup sound awesome. So let's go steam it up. This smells awesome. I feel like I'm gonna enjoy this. This is a lightly spiced simple syrup with a little bit of like kind of peppery savoriness to it. It's oat milk, it's espresso, it's a small drink. All of these things seem good. Now, they asked me to put it in a coupe glass, which is kind of fun. Hot drink in stemware is always an interesting scenario. Also kind of sounds like a band name. Pretty close to the top there. It's very aesthetic, I feel. I feel like this looks pretty nice. Okay, a little bottle of anise extract. Do this as like carefully as possible. Just 1 spritz. Anise is pretty strong. It's one of those really primary flavors in black licorice. People either love it or they hate it. I don't love the flavor of anise in drinks, but I really like it as an aromatic. If some of you remember back at the World Barista Championship in 2022, I did a garnish that was orange blossom water and anise, and it was awesome. Cheers, Isaac. This is the Cup of Joy. We are off to a very good start today. I'm not usually a huge fan of steaming espresso and milk together, just personally, but I will say it homogenizes it in a way that the appearance of this drink is very nice. You don't have any like mixing or like discoloration. It's all just one liquid. The anise, It's really nice. It's all on the nose. It's just kind of fragrant and it balances out the sweetness that we have in here. This is great. This is a nice drink. I don't love a hot drink in stemware, but beyond that, all of this is good. And I don't want to go like too high off the bat, but I tentatively want to give this like an 8, like an 8.5. If I saw this on a menu, I would 100% order it. Okay, I kind of want to drink this all, but we have 4 more drinks to make. So Isaac, your cup of joy gets an 8, maybe an 8.5 if we revisit this at the end. Let's continue on to our next drink. Now, drink number 2 comes to us via Esteban, and this one is a little bit more labor intensive. We started off easy, we're getting a little bit more complicated. So while I go collect everything, I'll be right back. I want to give a huge thank you to Cook Unity for sponsoring today's video. We're in the dead of competition season right now, which means my weeks have reached critical levels of busyness. Eating nutritious meals is key to performing well, and Cook Unity makes it both convenient and tasty. Cook Unity delivers fresh and chilled meals directly to your door with a super flexible subscription that you can pause or skip weeks on at any time. Created by over 70 chefs, their meals offer flavor and intentionality that's hard to beat. Plus, the fact that most only take 15 minutes means I have more time to spend getting ready for nationals. Their roster of all-star chefs include Food Network alums, James Beard Award winners, and acclaimed restaurateurs. Balancing flavor and nutrition in their creations, Cook Unity chefs make it easy and enjoyable for you to eat well. I think this past week of meals has been one of my favorites. Starting off the week, I had herb roasted salmon and truffle mash, which was a meal created by Chef Stacy Barang. Then Chef Andreas Mendez's yam, chickpea, and cauliflower, along with his cavatappi alla norma. Meals are chilled and sent fresh, not frozen, so that they're ready to heat and eat when you are, with more than 300 meal options and at a frequency that works best for you. So if you're ready to get started with Cook Unity, now is the time, because if you go to cookunity.com/MDC and use code MDC50, you'll get 50% off your first order. That's cookunity.com/MDC and code MDC50. This next drink is a cold drink. Let's read the instructions. So for our ingredients, we have 50 grams frozen blueberries, 50 grams fresh blueberries, some ice for shaking, 30 grams of a coffee and orange oleo saccharum, 40 grams of a fruity shot of espresso. Now for instructions. I just macerate a bit of the berries in a shaker, put all the ingredients together, shake, and serve in a cold cup. I add the frozen berries to reduce dilution from the ice as much as possible. So this one, I think we're gonna get as close as possible. I'm gonna add the frozen blueberries. However, I am also going to add a little bit of ice for like extra chilling and aeration in all of this. And now, Esteban was also kind enough to offer me their instructions for the orange and coffee oleo saccharum. So the instructions for this one was make it by macerating orange peels with leftover coffee. Now, oleo saccharums are really, really fun to make. There are a couple different ways to do these. What I did for this one, just out of kind of general practice, was I did 1 part sugar to 1 part orange peel, and I also just kind of added leftover coffee that I had. Then I like mushed it all together, macerated it, and like stuck it in my fridge overnight, and we were left over something that looks like this. So this is primarily like extracted coffee and orange oils and dissolved sugar. Oleo saccharums are really fun ingredients. I like them a lot. Regardless, let's get started. Kind of like reference this. Okay, macerate a bit of the berries in a shaker and then put all the ingredients together. Okay, I'm just gonna add my full 50 grams. 100 grams of blueberries in one drink is, it's a good amount of blueberries. Get my stick, just kind of lightly mush them. Just get a little bit of that juice out. Delicious. Double shot espresso. How much oleo saccharum? 30 grams, okay. It's a good amount of oleo saccharum. Hoping for a nice sharp, kind of like punchy drink here. I guess I'll add all the frozen blueberries. I really feel like I need a couple ice cubes at least. Okay, now I have prepped out a cold glass with a large ice cube in it, and I am gonna double strain this just because with those blueberries, we're gonna have a lot of things going on in here. Hear this one slushing around in there. We have fully demolished the blueberries. Whoa, that is a lot more syrupy than I was expecting. You can also see that it's getting a little stopped up here in the strainer just with how much kind of particulate and blueberry is up there. I was gonna call it blueberry flesh. I feel like that is most accurate, but also least pleasant. Okay, I will say it has kind of a fun purpley blueberry color. It looks remarkably thick. Let's have a sip. This one's pretty good. There is a little bit of a graininess to this all that I think is coming from the oleosaccharum that if I was to make it again, I would probably like cheesecloth or like coffee filter everything prior to using it. But I gotta say, this is pretty enjoyable. I was concerned that the oleosaccharum would be too much. That is a good amount of sugar and also a good amount of citrus being added to what is essentially just blueberries and espresso, but I think it works really well. This is a pretty aromatic drink just because of how much orange oil in this. And the blueberries, they add flavor, yes, but I feel like they add so much more to the texture. This is a very thick, very icy drink just all around. Kind of hard to describe the tactile on this. Like it is syrupy more so than anything else. That is refreshing. I think with a little bit of refinement, which frankly is probably just user error on my end, just from not having like 100% of the instructions, I think this could be super tasty. I do think I prefer the other one slightly more, and the tactile on this, it brings it down a little bit. So I'm gonna give this a 6.5 in its current form, but I could very much see how this could score higher with like 2 or 3 more tries. All right, now for our third drink. This one is gonna be hot, but it's not a drink that you might expect to be hot based on the ingredients. This is gonna be a spiced orange espresso. This comes to us from Wee. So, instructions, first of all. 1 shot of espresso, double if you prefer a stronger taste. However, the proportions may be slightly off. 250 mils of orange juice, no sugar, but it doesn't have to be fresh. 1 teaspoon of gingerbread spices, which include cinnamon, ginger, cardamom, cloves, nutmeg, and allspice, and then sweetener to taste if you would like, but they do mention that it can be omitted. Prepare espresso as you normally would, or you can prepare coffee in a mocha pot, which is what they do since they don't have an espresso machine, and it still yields a fairly strong espresso. Mix orange juice with spices and sweetener. Heat to about 70 degrees Celsius, or any temperature you would heat milk to. You can use a steam wand or just a microwave. Pour orange juice into a cup and then espresso over the juice. They say it is simple yet lovely if you like Christmassy vibes, and that they've been drinking it all winter. I'm excited. I like Christmassy vibes. And for the most part, I do enjoy espresso and orange juice together. So let's get started. Now I have already portioned our, I don't know if you'll be able to see this a little bit. This is dangerous. Now I've already portioned out our 250 mils of orange juice. I will admit this is not fresh, but it's like high quality orange juice. This is slightly nicer than what you would buy, I guess, normally. We're gonna go a little bit classy here. I do think I'm gonna go with a full double shot of espresso. Those tend to be my preferences for these sorts of drinks. And I've also made up a little plate of Christmas spices. So again, we have allspice, we have cinnamon, cloves, nutmeg, cardamom, pretty much everything that was listed. So just gonna kind of toss that into there. One would assume that it will incorporate when we steam this all together. I'm gonna add a hint of sweetener. I'm gonna go very light with it. It's just simple syrup. It's like barely a touch. I'm gonna go steam up some orange juice. If you thought I was apprehensive about steaming espresso on the steam wand, I am very apprehensive right now. I'm just gonna say that hot orange juice has hot Kool-Aid vibes. That's the best way to describe what I'm feeling right now. Orange juice in. It's even got a little bit of foam to it. That's kind of fun. And goes our espresso. I feel like I should give this a little stir. I made this for you. Okay, let's taste. Oh my gosh, already on the nose. This is Christmas vibes. That was a very good way to describe this. Come on. That is obnoxiously delicious. I will say, if you are not someone who likes orange juice, you will not like this. However, I happen to be someone who very much likes orange juice. And even just like, I'm trying to like figure out my words here, because flavor-wise, this is lovely. On the nose, it is allspice. Like you get, not allspice. I mean, it's a little bit of allspice, but it's mostly nutmeg. Like I feel like the nutmeg and cinnamon are the most fragrant out of this. So initially you just get like this wave of like baking spice. In the cup, there's this like bright acidity from the orange juice. You don't really taste the espresso. Like frankly, I wouldn't even do a single shot. I'd put a double or more into this, but because we steamed this on a steam wand, you might be able to see it a little bit. This orange juice is holding a tiny bit of air, and that initial kind of puffy, like velvety texture that this has is incredible. Like I feel like you really ladled this out of like a Christmas pot. This is lovely. I should clarify, when I say Christmas pot, what I mean is like you have like a Dutch baby on your stove that has like wassail or like spiced apple cider, and you're just like ladling it out for your guests. That's what this tastes like. It was poor phrasing on my part, perhaps. As it cools, I like it less, but those initial sips when this was like nice and piping hot were fantastic. Could I finish this entire drink? Probably not. I would probably only want about 4 to 5 ounces of this. I'm gonna give it like a 7.5. This is very nice. Okay, I'll commit to that. 7.5, next drink. All right, drink number 5 comes to us from Connie Kim, and we are going back to iced drinks. So, instructions. As far as this drink's ingredients goes, they suggest espresso. My guess is a citrusy light roast would work well with this. About 6 ounces of seltzer, approximately half an ounce of simple syrup, and half an ounce of grapefruit juice. But they do acknowledge that they eyeballed this in the restaurant when they made this. This sounds like a lovely espresso soda. Let's make this. Okay, just from my knowledge of like building these, I'm gonna add my syrup and my grapefruit juice first. Grapefruit juice. Half an ounce syrup, sparkling water, it's about 6 ounces. We're gonna stir this with an obnoxiously long spoon. And then carefully, and actually I'm gonna use my spoon for this, we're gonna float our espresso. You all should know this by now, but whenever you are adding espresso straight on top of carbonation, whether that's soda water or tonic water or whatever have you, be cautious about it and pour slowly and evenly across the top. Otherwise you'll have a volcano. It's kind of fun, but not in front of customers. And then once everything is settled, you can give this kind of a gentle stir to fully incorporate. This looks refreshing. I am hoping it tastes refreshing. Grapefruit is such an interesting flavor coffee. I feel like a lot of the coffees that I drink have tasting notes of grapefruit, but rarely do you see grapefruit explicitly added to coffee drinks. There's a slight like pithiness to it that I think is pretty distinct. I might add a touch more sweetener to this, but it's very refreshing. This is a good shift drink, I would imagine. I imagine the more diluted this gets as the ice melts, it's still gonna taste pretty nice and refreshing. It's a citrusy coffee soda, and there is nothing wrong with that. However, I would probably lean more in the 6 range with this. Maybe a 5.5. It's nice, but it doesn't like, I'm not stunned the same way I was with maybe some of the other ones. But enjoyable. It's nice. Like tailor it to what you like. Maybe a little bit more citrus, maybe a little bit more sugar. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. Okay. We have one more drink to make. Let's continue. All right, our last recipe for this video comes to us via Angela Jarma. This one is iced. So starting off, they say very excitedly, oh my God, another summer drink was cold brew and ginger ale. So 150 mils of ginger ale, 100 of cold brew, 10 mils of vanilla syrup, and 5 mils of lime juice. Oh my gosh, so refreshing. Angela, that does sound refreshing, and I'm very excited to make it. A little bit fancier today. I got us some nice Beaver Tree ginger ale. Not sponsored, I just like it. And goes our lime, then our syrup. Once more, a stir with a very long spoon. Okay, then our cold brew. I love a drink where all you have to really do is kind of chuck things together. It's a very nice, refreshing take from what I usually have to do. This smells awesome. I'm very excited to taste it. Okay, all right. This is delicious. On a hot summer day on shift, I would be crushing like 3 of these. You all probably know at this point that I am a fan of lime, and especially lime in fun iced citrusy coffee things. And this is like the best of all of those worlds. It is lightly carbonated because you have ginger ale in there. The ginger is sharp, but like nice and sweet. The vanilla really rounds out kind of a warmer tone to all those flavors. The lime is bright, and the cold brew is a nice base. I can speak from experience of making similar type drinks that if you add a double espresso to this, instead of cold brew, you will also end up with something that is delicious. This is a fun one to end on. This gets a solid 9 in my book. This is delicious, and you can't really mess this up as long as you start with those 4 ingredients. Our 5 drinks suggested by you, made by me. We've had some really good ones today. I've been pleasantly surprised, I've been tickled, I've been delighted, I've been all of the good things. I think this was a smashing success, and congratulations to all of you for making some really tasty drinks at home. Now again, if you would like to submit your own recipe for future consideration, because there will likely be more of these, feel free to leave that down in the comment section, or you can also DM these to me on Instagram, as I am cataloging them all away for potential future use. We'll see what happens. Regardless, I think I'm gonna take, I don't know if this like speaks to my preference, I'm gonna take this one with me and go sip it. And I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Again, I am Morgan. I'm here on YouTube once a week, plus YouTube Shorts. Additionally, you can find me on TikTok or Instagram almost every single day. I hope you had fun today. I had a lot of fun. My taste buds had a lot of fun. I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.